Humans of the Cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we've got another Dogmatika card being released for Dimension Force, as well as some more legacy cards for the OCGs. What was this pack called? It's the Hidden Archive. There you go. I think it's called Hidden Archive, if I'm remembering correctly. We got Red Eyes. I think there is technically Crystal Beast and also Infernity support here. And some cool like OCG alt art stuff we'll take a look at right at the end as well. Before we get into this video, guys, I just want to remind you I'm going on like a short 3-day vacation for the next couple days. So if anything crazy comes out, I will try to do a review video / discussion video if I can, but keep in mind it's hard to do like any kind of decent thumbnail for stuff like that, so it might just be a really raw video, but it'll be fun anyway. We should be getting the last 10 reveals or whatever from Dimension Force. Still curious to see how they finish out the set there, and of course we're always live for a ban list now that we are within a week of the no sooner than day. So I just want to keep you updated on that. If you don't get a ton of uploads, just know I'll be back Friday, and then everything should continue smoothly from there. So let's get into it with Dogmatika. That's an awful name. Turgy. All right. You can only use one of the first and second effects of this card per turn, and only once per turn, so you gotta pick one, can't do both in the same turn. The first effect reads, Ritual Summon one Dogmatical Ritual monster from your hand or deck, okay, by tributing Dogmatika monsters and or Ritual Fusion or Synchro monsters from your field whose total levels exactly equal the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. I think that's actually not too bad, because I think one of the decent rituals for Dogmatika is level 4. So like even just opening Ecclesia, going Ecclesia, search this card, set this card, and on the opponent's turn tribute Ecclesia to special the ritual straight out of the deck. Bing bang boom. I think it's a decent floodgate if I'm remembering correctly. This actually does help like the pure Dogmatika like ritual deck, like a decent little bit there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing else too crazy there. I think it's just solid. Ritual summons from deck, so you're breaking the mechanic that way, and it's easily searchable. I'm with it. Second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 2 Dogmatika monsters with different levels in your graveyard. Add one of them to your hand and place the other on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. This is pretty cool. This helps you recycle. I mean, still, this definitely is like geared towards like a pure Dogmatika type deck that is more based on the ritual stuff. But like if you use Fleur de Lis or Ashian, I think is the other name one, you need different levels. So like if you're ritual summoning a level 4 by tributing Ecclesia, who's a level 4, and they both end up in grave, you can't use this effect because they're both level 4. You need to get Fleur de Lis, Ashian, or any of the other like different leveled ones. But just being able to add back and reset one back into the deck is actually pretty clean. Right? You know what I mean? Like add Ecclesia, put an Ecclesia search target back in the deck. I like that quite a bit. I think overall this is actually pretty good. I mean, it's not really splashing into a bunch of stuff. Like it's not, I know Dogmatika is known for just being super splashable in anything, but this is more a pure variant, you know, support card. But you know what? I like that because I feel like the pure variant kind of sucks cheeks. So it's nice to see a little something here. All right, moving on, let's check out our legacy support. We got this late last night. This is Red Eyes Soul. Red Eyes support, very cool. I've always liked Red Eyes more than Blue Eyes. Fuck Blue Eyes. Always felt that way. Anyway, Red Eye Soul, here we go. Level 7 Dragon Effect Monster, 900 attack, 2000 defense. Weird. The second effect of this card is a once per turn. Also, its third effect is a hard once per duel. Interesting. First effect reads that this card becomes Red Eye's Black Dragon while on the field or in the graveyard. Cool. Second effect, if your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, just straight up, they just ever special summon, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard as cost to special summon a Red Eyes monster from your hand or deck. Okay. And the third effect, as a quick effect, you can target one Red Eyes Black Dragon in your monster zone and inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. That's actually pretty nasty as well. I mean, that's just most of the time just going to be 2400, but I don't know if like if DMD like counts as Red Eyes Black Dragon while on the field. If it does, that's 28, right? I think the fusion, the Red Eyes slash Dragon or whatever, I don't know if he counts as Red Eyes on the field or not. I don't know if they all have that clause off the top of my head, but that's even more like, and that card is actually pretty good at putting together OTK. So that effect's actually not bad. Just burn for 2,400 is no joke. Very cool. Very, very cool. I actually like this second effect quite a bit. I don't think Red Eyes have anything to like really, really take advantage of this right now out the gate, but even just from the fact of like, even if you're going second, your opponent's just playing, you just use this and summon a Red Eyes monster straight out of the deck. That could be DMD, and then DMD can revive this guy just immediately. And so one card without your normal summon, put 2 bodies on the field playing into your opponent's board, which is actually pretty decent. And then of course even if you're going first, like setting this card up could be nice. It'd be sweet if Red Eyes got like a crazy monster that said like, when this card is special summoned, like do a removal, do a disruption, do a negate. That way this card would legit just be like a really cool, like Red Eyes specific hand trap type card. That would be really, really cool. I've wanted to see more of those is like in archetype hand traps. We have Subterra Fiendus and there's some weird ones here and there, but this would be sweet. Definitely. We have all these generic hand traps. I'd like to see some archetype specific ones. I think it would make them a little more interesting. All right, sorry we spent a little more time on that, but that's Red Eyes. Come on. All right, next up here we have Bridge of Salvation. I believe this is our Crystal Beast card because we see Rainbow Dragon there in the artwork. It's a normal trap. You can only use each of its effects once per duel. Okay. The first effect reads, if there are 2 or more different types among level 10 or higher monsters on the field, shuffle all cards in both players' hands, fields, and graveyards into the deck except this card. Then each player draws 5 cards. I'd almost rather like not have the draw, right? Like, I don't know. Okay, interesting. Still interesting. And the second effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to add 1 Crystal Beast monster and 1 field spell from your deck to your hand. Holy crack. Okay, so for this effect, you do have to play Crystal Beasts in your main deck to resolve this effect and get a field spell. So I don't think this is like generically splashable. It does search any field spell in the game, which is obviously generic, but you'd also have to play, or just to make this a thing, you would have to play like Foolish Burial Goods or whatever engine or whatever cards you would want to use to try and get him into get this card into the graveyard, as well as at least 1 Crystal Beast brick, which if you draw, this whole package is dead. So 1 or 2 Crystal Beasts, and then have the field spell stuff. Very interesting though. I think it's a buff for Crystal Beast because this is probably just a one of in every Crystal Beast deck now. Because even if you just want to play Foolish Burial Goods, it just makes Foolish Burial Goods like a nasty +1, right? It's searching you one of your in-archetype monsters and any field spell in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which makes Invoked potentially splashable in a Crystal Beast deck. I don't know what exactly works as like the best splashable stuff in the deck, but that definitely expands what could be playable there for sure, now that we can search any field spell. Very, very interesting. I think the only downside here is that this does not have crystal in the name at all. Or what it doesn't have, whatever. I know some of the spells and traps are searchable. Are they crystal cards? Is that what the archetype search is? But still, like I said, you could play generic stuff like, of course, Foolish Burial Goods or some other way to dump this just to get the search off, because there is like no cost. I mean, the cost is just banish this card, which is really sweet. So actually not a bad card. The first effect's kind of crazy, but it's probably really hard to set up in Crystal Beast specifically. But that second effect is noise for sure. All right. Last card we have here is Return of the Reaper. Love the artwork, very anime-esque. I believe this is from like the Western, the mini Western arc. Very cool. Normal spell, it is always treated as an Infernity card. There we go, that makes this searchable. And the first and second effects are both hard once per turns. The first effect reads, special summon one of your Infernity monsters that is banished, in hand, or in grave. Nice. This doesn't even target. That's really good. Love non-targeting removal or reborn spells because it makes it really hard to interact with them, even if your opponent has any DD Crow-esque effects to mess with you. That's really nice. Second effect, if a face-up Infernity monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect while this card is in your graveyard, set this card to your field. Wow, okay, so this also gives us like really solid follow-up. I like that it doesn't add itself back to hand, it sets it, so helps us maintain that no cards in hand thing that Infernity likes to roll with. I think this card's awesome. Searchable, doesn't target when it reborns. It can reborn from banish hand, or can summon from banish hand or graveyard. And the hand thing is actually understated as well, because this deck can sometimes just like I guess this deck, I would think that this deck could randomly brick in weird situations where you just have like too many monsters that can't get out of the hand at certain times. And so this card being able to pull something that might be sticking in your hand and keeping you from getting to that 0 cards in hand threshold that you want to meet. Really nice. And of course the floating is awesome. Almost guarantees you follow-up. I mean, if your opponent's playing into your board, they're almost, I mean, I guess there have to be destroying specifically an Infernity monster, but again, that's, you know, very, very doable, I would say. So all in all, I think 3 solid cards. I think this card has huge potential in Red Eyes. Obviously it's not amazing just yet. I think it's solid right now, but if they ever come out with like a legit another wave of Red Eye support and they do something that like specifically is like really good to be summoned off of him, even going second, and make this a legit 3 of like nasty hand trap and Red Eyes, I'll be about it. I might be interested in picking up Red Eyes at that point, but we'll see. So that's gonna do it for here today. Other than that, it's just we got this weird artwork. This is OCG stuff though, but you got like a new Harpy Lady Sisters and a weird Chibi Dark Magician. I know some people would be into both of these, I know for sure. So yeah, but that we have no idea when we'll get these. We could get these 8 years down the line, who knows, but just cool stuff if you're interested there. But that's gonna do it for you today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, sorry if this went a little longer just for a 4-card review, but yeah, Red Eyes, I like talking about Red Eyes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you have not yet and you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh card reveals as those cards drop, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.